Good morning. Welcome to Meditation Lesson 3, Video 8. So let me get this right out of the way. If this is your first time watching my talking face, I gotta warn you, all these meditation lessons are explanations and commentaries to the practice text, the free practice text. If you don't have the latest version of this free PDF, I gotta download it and open it up, or these explanations won't make any sense to you. So here's the deal. Below the video, you should see a whole bunch of links. If you don't, then we need to here's what you need to do. Towards the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there should be a little teeny button that says YouTube. Give that bad boy a click or two. That'll take you to YouTube's dedicated page for this video. About an inch below the video, there's a button that should read Show More. Give that bad boy a click. It'll reveal a list of links the length of your arm. The first link will just help you to find my Facebook page and to friend me there. That's lovely. The second link will take you to a page on my website where you'll find all the videos of the 52 lessons, or at least that's an ongoing project. Guys, if this is your first time watching me, do yourself a favor. Don't watch the 8th video of the 3rd lesson. Watch the first video of the 1st lesson. And if you're an advanced practitioner, this will give you an extra opportunity to be humble. The 3rd link will take you to the class materials for the first quarter. First 3 things there are free. There is a link to a free essay. Read that bad boy. There is an image similar to this. Print it out. You'll be glad you did. And lastly, there's a link to the latest PDF for the first set of lesson texts. Open it up. Push me on pause. Open that bad boy up. Restart the video. I ain't going nowhere. Let's sally forth. So join me on the 80th page of the first set of lesson texts. Now sometimes the numbering gets a little wonky. You'll know you're on the right page because the first line reads the Mahamudra of Bliss Letting Go. The second line reads Tummo's Naval Elective Exclusive. The third line reads Reverse Breathing. And the first exercise reads Where Nave Wheel, Letting Go. Your version might read, Where Nave Wheel, Releasing. That's probably even better. So here's the deal. There are many tantric systems in Hinduism. There are many tantric systems in Buddhism. There are many tantric systems in the some of the Sikh traditions, and there are many tantric systems in Taoism. So here's the deal. If you're watching the video, nine times out of 10, the people watching these videos are what I lovingly call stupid white people. And as a card-carrying member of the United States of America, it's very, very easy to get a little bit of information and make a whole lot of assumptions about it. Most people in America are familiar with one of the Hindu Tantra systems that involves 7 chakras, each with a color corresponding to the rainbow, from red, orange, yellow, to green, blue, indigo, and purple. So here is the deal. That's a lovely system, but that's not the only Hindu system. And that's most certainly not a Buddhist system. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but they have different chakras with different names and different energies and different frequencies for different purposes. The chakra system that I'm going to share with you is, well, as my name infers, Lama Jigme Gyatso Rime Manipatantrika, I practice non-sectarian Buddhism. I've studied all three schools of Buddhism, Theravada, Mahayana, and Tantrayana. And within Tantrayana, I've had the very good fortune to receive directly and indirectly teachings from the four schools of Nyingma, Kagyu, Sakya, and Gyalug. Having said that, the Kagyu draws a significant portion of its teachings from Atisha, who came from Bengal in India, and teachings from the 6 yogas of Naropa, who also came from North India. This is a blend of several systems. Chiefly we use the side channels and central channels of Naropa's 6 yogas. We use the 5 primary chakras of the action performance tantras, and we use the 2 sexual chakras as revealed in the Vajrayogini sadhanas that came from the Heruka Tantras via the Sakya tradition. So yes, you could call this tutti frutti. Or smorgasbord. Now, this is not traditional. Most people say you use a 4 chakra system here, use a 5 chakra system here, use a 7 chakra system there. I found that to be very confusing. If I have to choose between tradition or effectiveness, I choose the latter. I choose effectiveness. That makes me profoundly unpopular with the minions of orthodoxy. But my students who apply their instructions get rapid and long-lasting results with a minimum of effort and time. And that's important to me. That's much more important to me than the good opinion of a penhead who would rather read a Lama's resume and judge him according to a human standard than judge him according to Buddha's standard. What's Buddha's standard? Is Buddha's standard that the teachings be in harmony with the traditional commentaries? No. Is Buddha's standard that the teacher be handsome? No. Is his standard that the teacher be wealthy or popular? No. Is his standard that the teachings be popular or appeal to our intellect or to our emotions or to our intuition? No. Buddha, bless his heart, was profoundly pragmatic. Remember he talked about cause and effect? In fact, remember that's the second noble truth, that our sufferings have a cause. They aren't random. They aren't the caprice of some unreliable deity, but the propitiation of our actions. Likewise, he said if you receive a teaching and apply the teaching and notice the results, if the results are unsatisfactory, then find a better teacher. If the results are good, come back, get more teachings. It's just that simple. Just that simple. I lose more students, not because of what I teach, but because I demand they do their homework if they want more lessons. It's just that simple. I've had people beg me for lessons, show up to class, and never do their homework. And then wonder why they don't get results. That's not the way to do it. I've had remarkable pains in the ass show up. I've had remarkable energy vampires showed up. But they did their homework, and so they're welcome to keep coming back. It's just that simple, folks. So, long story short, the system I teach you is a blend of several Buddhist tantric traditions. It's not the only system. It's one I like. It's very effective for me and for my students. I hope it'll be effective for you as well. So, if the chakras, and chakra is Sanskrit for wheel, if the chakras, wheels, energy vortices, or discs, can be likened to leaves, then the central channels and the side channels are a lot like vines or branches on a bush or a tree. So that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start with the branches and the side branches according to this system of Buddhist Tantra. We begin with the central channel, and it's shaped a lot like a cane. Most people, once again, are familiar with the Hindu chakra, which starts all the way deep down in your pelvis, runs up, then after the throat, zigs to the forehead, and then zags to the crown. Buddhist system is different. It starts about 4 finger widths below your navel. It runs parallel to the spine, about a thumb's width before the spine. You don't have to memorize the exact location. Your body already knows where it is. In fact, if we get out of the way and let the body do the work, these meditations are much more effective. Let's continue. The central channel beginning 4 finger widths below the navel. And it's nice because everyone's finger widths are a little different because everyone's body is proportionate to itself. Thumb's width before the spine, the central channel, which has about the width of a pencil. Shoots up the spine, enters the skull, and then it curves forward. It brushes against the crown of the head, the fontanelle of the head, and terminates between the eyebrows. Now we have the side channels. Side channels are about the width of a reed or straw. Not a straw that you'd use in a coffee shop or to drink your soda pop, but the straw that would be growing in the field. This might seem a bit confusing, so hold on loosely. Give yourself permission to get lost a little bit. We're going to start with the right nostril. The right channel. Well, let's return, before I get any further, let's return to the central channel. The central channel is blue on the outside and red on the inside. Externally, that would refer to Heruka and Vajrayogini. That would refer to the unification of both the male and the female aspects. That's huge. Remember, the world used to be profoundly more misogynistic than it is now. And to equalize the genders was a radical teaching, but an important one, I assure you. Let's continue. So, the right side channel is red, begins at the right nostril. It arches up, and when it gets to the crown chakra, just above the crown chakra, it crosses once in front of the central channel, once behind the central channel, then it loops out, and it comes back in. It crosses the central channel just above the throat wheel, in front of the central channel, behind the central channel, it loops out, and then it comes back in, and just above the heart wheel, it crosses in front of the central channel once, twice, 3 times. It wraps around, and it swings out, and it comes back in at the navel chakra. You can say, what about the solar plex chakra? And I'd say, That's a different system. So the navel chakra, it wraps once around the, what's it called? The central channel, in front of it, and then behind it, and then it loops out. It comes to the secret wheel. One says, ooh, it's a secret. You can't tell. No, it's called the secret wheel because you can't see a marker. The navel you can see with your eyes. Secret wheel you can't. But it's just the chakra located 4 finger widths below the navel. So the right side channel loops in front of the central channel, just above the secret wheel, and then it loops, and then it swings out to the side, and then it swings down. It passes through the G-spot if you're a woman, and the prostate if you're a man, and then it terminates in the colon, where the solids obviously leave the body. And now we see how the root sexual chakra, or the sex root chakra, connects to the central channel. It connects through the right side channel. Let's continue. Now we're going to play with the left side channel. By the way, don't worry, you don't have to memorize this. We're just getting a rough idea of where things are and how they're interconnected. The left side channel, the right side channel is red, the left side channel is white. This is called the sun channel. This is called the moon channel. This is very energizing. This is very pacifying or relaxing. This is considered very male. This is considered very female. The left side channel I take it back. This is considered, the red side channel is considered very female. The left side channel is considered very male. One of the reasons is the red side channel passes through the G-spot, which is key to a woman's, which is arguably the most pleasurable point of a woman's body that she experiences during coitus. That's the location of the side channel. The color of the side channel being red reminds the practitioner of the ova and of menses. Bear in mind, these tantric systems came into being when medicine was a mystery and the woman's body was a mystery, and quite frankly, freaked out most men. So red symbolized female sexuality. White symbolized male sexuality, obviously because of the semen. So the left white side channel, the width of a straw growing in a field, or in my case, the width of a cross pen refill, began at the left nostril. It too arches up, but this time it crosses in front of the central channel just below the crown wheel. It wraps around, swings out to the side, crosses the central channel just below the throat wheel. And by the way, the crown wheel is just around the area of your fontanel. The throat wheel is a place in your throat where you feel it get tight just before you cry. And so the white side channel passes in front of the central channel, just below the throat wheel, wraps around, swings out, passes in front of the central channel, just below the heart wheel once, twice, 3 times, arches out, swings in front of the central channel just below the navel wheel 1 time, wrapping around the central channel 1 time, swings out, crosses in front of the central channel just below the secret wheel, wrapping around 1 time, and now it arches forward. It pierces on a woman's body. It pierces the clitoris, and then makes a curve, passes, and then rejoins the urethra, and then terminates, obviously, where fluids leave the body. On a man's body, it passes through the penis, and of course terminates in the urethra where liquids leave the body. But here's the interesting part. Just as in the red side channel, the right side channel, the sex root wheel was in the G-spot, or the prostate. On the left white side channel, the sex tip wheel, it intersects the left side channel, either A, at the most sensitive point on the clitoris, or B, on the most sensitive point on the penis. And so this is fascinating. In recent, well, I can't say recent years, but many medical authorities insist that early on in fetal development, both boys and girls manifest as girls. That's the template. And then, for those who would be born as boys, 9 times out of 10, there's a shift in the hormones. Then, consequently, a metamorphosis occurs in the body. For those who would be boys, excuse me, 9 times out of 10, the clitoris enlarges and becomes a penis. Labia majora seal and become the scrotal sac. The ovum descend and become the testes. And this is really cool. The G-spot slides back and becomes the prostate. This sounds a little bit like the organic version of the Transformers, only without explosions. Bless Michael Bay's heart. And so there really is an interconnection between the genders, regardless of fear, regardless of hate, regardless of stereotype. Whether we're misogynists who hate women, or homophobes who hate gay men, or gay anything, the gender are remarkably similar because all men started off as little girls. Many men, when they make love, they are deeply influenced by the culture, by anthropology. Explore this with me, if you will. Some anthropologists posit that the women were the gatherers and the men were the hunters. And those self-same anthropologists insists that explains a huge difference in the genders. For instance, if women are gathering strawberries, they want to make as much noise as possible to keep the big predators away. So it would be their best interest if their instinct urged them to talk frequently, talk loudly, talk over each other, and, be catty, fight, cry, yell, laugh, all as loud as possible to scare the predators away. And because our species survived, it can be argued that it was done quite well. On the other hand, the same I forgot what it's called. Anthropologists say the men who went hunting had to be quiet. Whatever they saw, whatever they thought, whatever they felt, they had to be quiet. Because and by the way, they had to perform really, really well. Picking strawberries is not life or death. You make a mistake picking strawberries, no one dies. You make a mistake on a hunt, people go hungry or people get killed. So the men tend to be very performance-oriented, very unforgiving with each other, very, very quiet, very, very internalized. In fact, stereotypically, a classic form of male bonding is fishing, where you stand for hours silently with each other, but you feel really close afterwards. That would kill most women. Just stereotypically talking, anthropologically talking, not anthropologically, but anthropologically speaking. But that's how men, for instance, men bond by silently playing catch or silently going fishing. That speaks to our pre-civilized past, going back more than 10 millennia. And so consequently, stereotypically, when women are having a good time while lovemaking, they're very vocal. And when a man is enjoying himself during sex, he's not very vocal. Not very vocal at all. And so we see this huge dichotomy in the genders. Now, ask any female clairvoyant, ask any female psychic, and they'll tell you there's a huge difference between a clitoral orgasm and a vaginal orgasm. And this is where we get down to the difference between the sex tip chakra and the sex root chakra, or the sex root wheel. Sex root wheel corresponds to vaginal orgasms. The sex tip chakra correlates to clitoral orgasms. Now, those self-same female psychics will say, hey, orgasms are lovely, but there's a difference between a clitoral orgasm and a vaginal orgasm. A clitoral orgasm often results in hypersensitivity or massive fatigue or both, and can often signal an end to sex play, whereas a vaginal orgasm does not create hypersensitivity or drowsiness, but rather it's energizing and invigorating and can actually prolong sex play. Most men go through life only experiencing sexual pleasure at the sex tip chakra. And classically, what happens when a man ejaculates? He gets drowsy, he falls asleep, and that's that. But a significant percentage of men, more than 25% of men, more than 33% of men, if they're honest, will admit that they have received prostate stimulation from a partner during sex, and they enjoy it. And that's how the man experiences sexual stimulation of his root chakra, or his root sex wheel. And so basically we're saying, if we're looking at someone's body, we see all the chakras in a line, and then a split below the sex chakra, a split below the secret wheel to the sex tip wheel or the sex root wheel. And to me, that is fascinating. In future, right now we're exploring the Tumo meditations. After the Tumo meditations, the two electives of the Tumo meditations, you learn the two electives of the central channel yogas. And yes, you guessed it. One elective deals with meditating on the sex tip wheel, and the other elective deals with meditating on the sex root wheel. Now, many, many men are homophobic, and they are terrified if they meditate, if they use their mind to awaken the sensuality of their root sex wheel, it'll make them gay. First of all, it's not going to make you anything than you already were designed to be. If you don't like how you were designed to be, then I suggest you address your complaints to the manufacturer. Number two, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, or any point in between. It doesn't matter. According to the fundamentalist Buddhist teachings, we've had many, many lifetimes. We've been born as humans, we've been born as non-humans. We've been born as men, we've been born as women. We've been born as gay, we've been born as straight, we've been born as bi, we've been born as all points in between. So what? It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, or bi. Just be the best person you can be the best partner you can be the best parent you can be, and apply Buddha's techniques to be the wise, peaceful, loving, joyful camper that you were born to be, that your dog already thinks you are, that your cat already thinks you are, when you give him tuna. So, we've explored the 7 chakras from the point of view of this Buddhist system, let's explore them in a little bit further detail. We don't pay much attention to the brow wheel. That's basically, we just touch that once and we ignore it. It's just a touchstone. But here's the ones we really pay attention to. The crown, which is white. The throat, which is red. See, this is different than the Hindu system. The heart, which is blue. The navel, which is yellow. The secret one, which is green. The sex tip is black. The sex root is black. Let's continue. I think it's really neat that the top chakra and the bottom chakra are white and black, because that corresponds with the Tantra of Shenrizig, or Avalokiteshvara, where the first syllable is white and the last syllable is black. That also corresponds remotely to the Taoist system, which talks about yin and yang, black and white. So I love the idea of the full spectrum, and the fact that they're both valuable. In the Hindu system, you run away from the root chakra, try to live in the crown chakra. The Buddhist system is different. We meditate on the root chakras, we meditate on the sex chakra. Let me rephrase that. We meditate on the sex root chakra, and we meditate on the crown chakra. We meditate on the sex tip chakra, and we meditate on the crown chakra. There is a benefit to exploring both extremes. No one extreme is demonized. No other extreme is deified. They are both useful. And that translates beyond the realm of the energy work. In true Buddhism, we do not seek to repress negative emotions. We seek to be aware of them and harness them and benefit from them, as opposed to just ignore them or indulge them. Same thing with thought. Forgetting Taoist meditation technique, forgetting Hindu Vedanta meditation technique, and Buddhism, contrary to popular belief, we're not supposed to suppress thought. We're supposed to be simply aware of when divergent thoughts occur, other than our object of concentration, and bring them back into the path of awareness and letting go. That's huge. Or to elaborate, awareness releasing, awareness relaxing, smiling and releasing, and then returning to the primary concentration. So in true Buddhism, we don't suppress or indulge, we are aware and harness. Likewise, with the two extremes of our central channel, we harness the potential of our sex wheel, of our sex tip wheel, we harness potential of our sex root wheel, we harness potential of our crown wheel, and all points in between. That's very, very useful. Now let's put a finer point on that. Going back to the crown wheel. In the center, in the hub of the crown wheel, is a little teeny tiny mustard seed sized syllable Om, or perhaps just an O to make it easier in visualization, although I don't emphasize visualization at all. In the red throat wheel, there's a teeny tiny red mustard seed sized syllable Ah, A-H, or simply an A. In the heart wheel, the blue heart wheel, there's a blue mustard seed sized syllable Hum, or H. In the hub of the heart wheel. In the navel wheel, the yellow navel wheel, there is a yellow mustard seed sized syllable So, S-O, or simply S. In the green secret wheel, there, 4 finger widths below the navel, there's a little teeny tiny green syllable Ha, or simply an H. In the tip, in the black sex tip wheel, at the most sensitive part of the clitoris or penis, there's a teeny tiny black syllable Bay, B-A-Y, or if you're really fancy, B-A with the 2 dots on top, or simply B. And that's very, very pacifying and wonderful to meditate on if you have insomnia. At the black sex root wheel, there is, in its hub, there's a little teeny tiny syllable day, D-A-Y, or D-A with 2 dots on top of it if you're fancy, or just simply a D. And that's at your G-spot or your prostate, depending upon your gender. And boy, that is energizing. That if you wake up hungover, or just not literally hungover, but just feeling exhausted, meditate on that, and you will never need caffeine again. It's marvelous. So we've just explored a cursory introduction to the central channels, the side channels, the chakras, and their corresponding syllables or seeds, also in Sanskrit known as bijas or bijas. So now you know more than you did before class, but let me give you a practical thing to work with now. In the context of Tumo's naval elective, which is exclusive, remember we're doing the reverse breathing, where we squeeze tight the anus, the urethra, and the perineum, or the vaginal orifice, depending on your gender, while simultaneously pulling in our navel. During the in-breath, we're going to mentally ask where, nave, wheel. We like using 3 syllables, and navel is too many syllables, so we just use the first syllable, nave. So, where, nave, wheel, releasing. Let's play with that right now. It's not our job to figure out the precise location. Our body already knows where it is. Ask the question on the in-breath. Relax during the out-breath. And let the words and the body take care of the rest. Well, folks, that's all you get for today. Thank you for your time and your kind attention. I thank you for what PayPal donations you make, if any. Thank you for being enthusiastic to be your best intellectually and spiritually and emotionally. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Before we go, allow me to remind you to click the like button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, to click the share buttons either straight below or in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and up above, oopsie, there you go, find the subscribe button. Find a YouTube button, click on that, it'll take you to your home page. On the bottom left hand corner, you'll find a tab that reads Manage Subscriptions. Give that a click, look up Lama Jigme, and click the box to the right. That will allow you to receive email notifications every time I upload another video. Let's see, the Saturday series of weekly webinars. When does that begin? March 2nd. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.